cover it up, but thank you for reminding me. No, actually, turns out he is made by the government. He's just one of several Frankensteins that they put behind this mask and blah, blah, blah. And the government is calling the resistance the French. Kind of like what rednecks in our country do with ISIS and just call them all Muslims.
Yeah.
To basically cover it up. So David Carradine tells her he's just one of all these other Frankensteins, but he's going to take him out. He's got the grenade thing. Like, you notice how he's like trying to be all careful with the grenade hand? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like just grabbing her boob with the grenade hand.
I would be a little worried. Like, where's the pin on this thing?
That's the power of pussy. You'll risk blowing yourself up.
Here's the question I had about the question I had about the resistance.
I would probably blow myself up for that too.
The question I had about the resistance was, did they have groups in every city? Because it always seemed like the same people were coming out of the same base, and it's like, oh, they're coming, let's go get them. And it's right there. They should have, halfway through the movie, they should have been way past this.
You weren't supposed to notice that they were recycling the resistance people, okay? When they die, they end up in another city. That's his twin brother. That's how you're supposed to look at this.
And the main lady, too. Like the grandma.
Who's friends with everyone?
Yeah.
Who's that fucking annoying cunt everybody has, like, in their life?
That's two.
No, not her. Not her. I'm talking about...
He's a dear friend of mine. Oh, no, you're talking about the old lady that does the speech.
Yeah.
Yeah, and did you see the cameras that they were trying to use to look futuristic?
Oh, I know.
Space age? And it just looked like giant fucking Viewmasters.
Well, to go along with that, at one point during the beginning of the movie, somebody's looking through binoculars while they're driving. And the binoculars... It would have made sense if they were if the person holding the binoculars was standing in one spot and they're following the car along. But no, they were using the binoculars in the car and still stationary according to the shot. I was like, oh my God. Now, don't get me wrong. Roger Corman directed this. I think, did he? No, he didn't write it. He didn't direct it. My bad. What the hell? He must have wrote it.
Paul Bertel.
Yeah, Paul Bartel. I thought.
Well, also,
Corman produced
it. Remember the part where?
Never mind.
Remember the part where they're driving, and she tries to steer David Carradine, like tries to take him off the cliff.
Yeah.
And then he like stops the car and whatever. My favorite part is like they get out of the car and she he's about to like do something whatever. She's like, I don't want you to die. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
You were about to take us off a
30
cliff.
seconds ago, you were just, taking the wheel, and you're not Jesus.
One of my favorite shots, though, speaking of a cliff, was when the Resistance set up the fake tunnel like Looney Tunes.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
And it was Matilda the Hun. Drove right through it and right off the cliff. I was like, really? You fucking fell for that?
Well, but in her defense, like...
There's a defense for that?
Yeah, look at how many times the coyote fell for it.
Well, okay.
Look how many times the roadrunner's gone through it. I mean...
Yeah, that's...
Maybe she thought she was going fast enough. That's how it worked.
Something else. We were talking about the people you can run over. One of my favorites was the kid pushing the tire with the stick down the road.
Oh, yeah.
And David Carradine swerves to get out of the way because he doesn't...
No, the girl was driving.
Was she driving? Okay, yeah, that's right. Because
that's when he figured it out.
He's like,
That's why he tells him to stop.
That's perfect for you, yeah. I just thought that was one of them. What kid pushes a tire with a stick? No kid is that bored. It must be that boring in the future. And speaking of that...
It was dystopian,
It was dystopian. But where were they... What was the... Where were they drawing inspiration? They must have been drawing inspiration from the 60s and 70s with the clothing. But it's like... Some of the stuff is futuristic, but at the same time, we're going to keep it what we know as far as the filmmaking goes. It was just like I couldn't.
We have to talk about the best scene in the entire movie.
I thought we did.
No, the fight scene.
Oh,
between Machine Gun Joe and Frankenstein.
Yeah, that has to be one of the worst fight scenes I've ever seen.
You know what? Though, give Stallone credit.
Of
He sold
movies.
it. He sold every one of David Carradine's. David Carradine. You know what he looked like? You know those inflatable clowns that you can punch and they fall down.
Yeah,
and
they
come
wobble back.
Yeah. That's what he looked like in that whole scene. It was the stiffest, worst punches I've ever seen. And you know, Stallone. That's you have to imagine like. Stallone probably, because Rocky, if you think about it, Rocky for the time looked fucking good. So you know
it came
that
out the year after.
I was going to say Rocky came out at the same time.
So you know Stallone probably worked with him,
Yeah.
and that's probably as good as he got. Like that's probably after Stallone in 12 hours going, fuck it, let's just get it done.
And he's probably mad at the same time. Where he's like, man, my guy's got to get beat up by this dude. I can't take this.
All the blood just clearly looked like red paint.
Yeah.
Just
They didn't even
everything.
try.
Yeah, there was no sense of. But I will say this: the entire movie is racing. There's 2 spots where they stop for like 10 minutes max, I think, each. But the rest of the movie is racing. It's all
And
it's the whole-
dancing, which was one of the things that I wrote down when they stopped in between sessions. I think this was the same. I think this happened right before the fight scene.
Yeah, no, right before he fucks his navigator.
Yeah.
And he's dancing
He's
with her.
dancing
with
her. I'm like, what the hell?
And he's just wearing like the Speedos.
Well, he takes everything off, leaves the Speedos on. It's like, let's dance. I'm like, what? Where did that come from?
He's not human. He doesn't understand.
Okay, you have to remember too. Like he did Kung Fu, the Kung Fu show, like the original one, and like it started in 1972, and he didn't even fight in that, like in any way, shape, or form. So I don't think he had the ability to actually fight at all.
And here's the other thing. Kill Bill. He was supposed to be the greatest Kung Fu master ever, and all he did was sit in a chair and get killed by Uma Thurman in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So like David Carradine's kind of he's the vanilla ice of the Kung Fu.
And we also have to mention the massage scene.
Oh yeah, where they're all getting the massage.
They're all buck naked getting massages at the same time.
And Stallone just punches the shit out of that girl. Which so ladies, if you were wondering about the future, it gets worse again.
I love that
it goes back to the 50s.
Full 360.
I love that he was down talking to Annie, and he sees David Carradine talking to Myra, and when Carradine leaves, what did he want? Getting all possessive, and it's like, dude, you were just down there talking to his.
Well, but that's his character. Like
I know.
Remember, because when he pulls,
I know that's what I'm saying. It's
when
funny.
he pulls up to the sign people, and he's like, "Oh, you ain't gonna make a sign for me? Why isn't there no welcome machine? I'm gonna kill him."
I think he does wonders for the Italian. The Italian stereotype.
Oh, and then we also,
wait. Going back to the fight scene, it was clearly not Sylvester Stallone in the wide shots. In the close-ups, yes.
Yeah, he's
But-
probably too embarrassed to get funny.
but that's what made the scene funny, because it's like, that is so not him.
I didn't even
It
know
could have been Frank
because
Stallone.
I couldn't get past David Carradine's fighting. Like I couldn't. That's all I was.
You didn't notice anything
It was
else.
like Rob Lowe's voice. Like it just enchanted me, and I couldn't stop watching like a snake charmer. And then,
Which Rob Lowe?
the
one with
Skinny arms?
all Rob Lowe's. The voice doesn't change. But so Frankenstein, the Resistance chases him with a remote control plane, and he
the plane was being flown. There was a dude in it.
God damn it! You don't know what a fucking joke is.
Oh fuck!
Jesus fucking Christ, Corey!
We'll cut that.
Of course,
We'll cut that part
the
out.
joke.
No, there's no cut that part out. It's staying in there.
Fucking joke is Still haven't figured this out.
We finally get you to catch
13
it.
fucking episodes, and you still
I
don't
caught
get it.
He caught the first one at least. We'll give him that.
Well, you praised him too soon.
Apparently, I'll hold it.
Fuck, since this whole...
Hey, hold on. If he can...
Since we have I'm going to open my can loudly since we have phones and fucking Corey stepping on jokes. No, there's actually... It was supposed to be... I know it looked like a remote control plane, but in the movie it was supposed to be somebody...
Well, you know what? In my defense, it wouldn't be the least bit surprising that they tried using a remote control plane to kill somebody.
So they're chasing him. he drugs up the chick, so it looks like he kills her. For some reason, I didn't understand that part, because maybe she could have been like, hey guys, it's cool, he's with us. But he's like, no, I should just knock her unconscious and make it look like I killed her.
He said why. I can't remember what he said though.
But so then they get out of harm's way. Like the plane blows up. He tells her, he's like, hey, like I know that was your guys. I know this was your fam, but I fucking had to kill them. They had to go. So then they come up with this plan where she's gonna drive. She's gonna go up to the podium with the mask and shit on. Because apparently, like, nobody noticed that, like, all of a sudden Frankenstein got some hot boons. They were just like, oh, fuck it. So she goes up there to try to stab him, and her grandma thinks that it's Frankenstein, tries to get some revenge, shoots her in the shoulder, which apparently bothers her for like 2 minutes, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, she takes off the mask, and you're like, oh!
Well, unlike Cops in the Future, they don't miss, so she aims for the shoulder and hits her.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, she was white, so she wasn't shooting to kill. She takes off the mask, and everyone's like, oh, it was that cunt from earlier. And then all of a sudden, you realize, like, Frankenstein has been in the car the whole time. And apparently the other thing I love about this movie is even if you just get hit by a car, or if you're on a scaffolding and it falls down because it gets hit by a car, you die immediately. So he runs into the presidential thing, and the president literally, who is standing on a podium, probably with a lot of wood, falls about 4.5 feet onto said wood and dies instantly. And that was their big revenge. They took down Mr. President. And then,
because of that, Frankenstein gets to become president.
Not only that,
so
Andy Chick marries him.
Yeah.
Like, do you think no one was like, bitch, you do know he was made in a lab. He's not a real person. But you know what? That's America. Like,
but according to this future, though, you kill the president, you get to be president.
Well, it's like Riddick. You know, keep what you kill. You kill him, you take it over.
Yeah, I get it.
And the ironic thing is, and I did like that they did this, is he abolishes the race. And, like, this I thought was what made me think, like, this could be, like, something realistic in the future. Because the first thing the reporter asks is, like, but isn't the race the thing that gave you all this power in the first place? Like, that's a real question we would be asking ourselves.
Way to stir up the stink, media.
Yeah. And then, like, he tells him, he's like, hey, Howard Cosell, take care of this. And the guy's like, quit bothering the president with these inane, annoying questions.
He just got promoted to Speaker of the House.
Yeah, and then Elton John's like flipping out about it.
And then
I don't want to go on with you like that.
And then he gets run over.
Don't want to be a feather in your cap. And then he runs over.
And then everybody cheers, which was hilarious
because everybody hated that guy too.
Yeah, and that was the movie. 79 minutes of it.
There's some seriously random shit in this movie. And I'd like to get your take on this. Why the fuck would you try to play Matador with that chick's car?
Oh, I know. I was wondering. I know. Who is this guy?
This dude. I mean, and there's some retarded people in this thing that are like, "Hey, let's jump out of these cars."
No. if the transcontinental,
you got it. You can do it.
Competitive race, road race, transcontinental road race.
Yes,
is that it?
That's it.
Yeah.
If that was real, there would be so many fucking rednecks standing on the side of highways shooting at these fucking cars and fucking running across the street and shit like that.
There's a movie where it's a similar thing, and that's an issue. Like doing the race, there's like these groups of people that they come through like an area and they like shoot at them like crazy, but I can't remember what movie it is.
Oh, also that one girl sacrificed herself, remember?
Oh yeah.
So he could get points.
Oh yeah, the virgin chick.
What was great was he's like, you came to give me your body? She's like, no, your navigator has earned that right, and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, all right, well, then see ya. I'm going to go jerk myself off with the tire around my neck.
Too soon? No.
And notice he wasn't back in the sequel.
Yeah.
Or the reboot. Actually, his voice was.
His voice was.
Yeah. So, But the movie is actually, and this is what I love, it is certified